So as I mentioned earlier, I have two small children, and I just turned 50 years old, and the problem I want to solve for is I want to stay alive as long as possible, right? I want to be healthy and see them grow up. So I set out to use AI to do just that. Everything else I had done research on told me that it's your use of data that will make AI the most powerful. And I started to think, well, what is the data that's connected to my longevity? What's the data of my body? So I went through 25 years and collected as much information I could get my hands on: MRIs, blood tests, x-rays, notes from doctors, information that was in file cabinets, information that was on external hard drives, and I organized it together. I was obsessive over a 6 to 7 day period pulling this all together. And then I uploaded it into something called a custom GPT, which is a version of ChatGPT that, instead of it being trained on the whole internet, is just trained on my information. And I gave it a prompt, and the prompt was, you are a leading doctor from Johns Hopkins University, and you have one goal in your job: to keep Matt Britton alive. And I finally felt like I was good enough to put it to use. And I was ready, and I had a cup of coffee, and I was ready to ask it my first question. And the question I asked it was, if I'm gonna die in 5 years, what's the most likely cause? Now just think about that for a second. Like, if you went on WebMD, it's gonna tell all of us we're gonna die, right? But this is something that is trained just on my information. It knows everything there is about my history, my family medical history. I've lived a relatively healthy life, but as I mentioned, my dad passed away pretty suddenly of cancer, and we all worry about our longevity, right? We're all mere mortals, and I wanted to know what AI thought, and when it told me why I was most likely to die, it wasn't the reason I thought. I'm like, well, what about in 10 years? Something different. Well, why? Well, your blood markers showed this, your family history is this. Well, what can I do about it? And ever since that day, about a year and a half ago, I use it for everything. I use this health bot to write for my allergist a full dossier of anything in my health history, recent blood tests, anything that's possible, and I give it to the allergist before I go there. And they read it. If I'm feeling something off, I'm gonna go to this custom GPT before I go to a doctor. Now, this is not medical advice, I need to say that, but for me, I look at the reality. And the reality is that my doctor has 10 appointments before me and 10 after, and he may have a headache, or maybe his football team lost yesterday and he's in a bad mood, and maybe he's not gonna give me the attention he needs, or maybe he's not even gonna remember the information that was sent. But you don't really get that with AI. I often get us also like, don't you worry about uploading your health information into AI? And my answer is always the same. I'd rather risk ChatGPT knowing my cholesterol score than dropping dead here on stage, right? It's all about a trade-off. Families post pictures on vacation. The risk is your house could get robbed. You do it because you want people to see your cute family and the fact that you're going somewhere nice. The use of technology is always about a trade-off. And for me, it's a worthwhile trade-off. And after I built this for my health, I built it for my finances, and I uploaded my mortgage and my will and trust and estate and all that stuff. And now I use it during tax time or any question I have in terms of when that great interest rate's gonna reset, right? And it'll tell me instantly. What AI can do incredibly powerfully is take information and extract what matters and give it to you in any form factor you want. And it's getting better and better at doing that. Again, goes back to the skill sets that are most needed, because that's what we used to rely on our brains for, right? But now, I would argue AI can do it better, but you still need to know how to have an idea to build a health bot, how to have an idea to use that finance bot, how to use this incredible technology to further our lives. And then I took that same framework to my business, and I took 25,000 hours of customer call transcripts that we had had since